Coming up on Bloom, it's our Valentine's special, and my husband Mark is my co-host today. We've got a packed show for you, including taking salsa lessons.
Right, so I want you to let go of her hands, and now watch carefully, right? You're gonna turn like this.
I can do that.
There we go, yeah. And then back with that left, go forward. There it is.
And we've got a unique date idea for you. We're woodworking together. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, a full hour dedicated to your health and wellness. So get ready to bloom. It is Valentine's Day, and I am here with my sweetie, my husband, Mark. And Mark, we have a lot of surprises for you.
Excellent.
We're going to be taking salsa dancing lessons today.
My favorite,
You're
dancing.
not. It's not his favorite. And our friend Chef Deb, who I know you love as well,
Of course.
she has a big surprise for you. Can you guess what it is?
I can't.
You can't? Here's a tip. You can dip it in butter.
Ooh,
Ooh.
love. I think I know what it is.
Okay, all right. So we're actually talking all things love, and folks are going all out. Spending on the annual Lovers' Day is expected to reach a record $14.2 billion this year. That's according to the annual survey released by the National Retail Federation and Prosper Insights and Analytics. But it's not all about the candies, flowers, and lingerie. Here with why romance is important for your brain is behavioral scientist and the author of 7 Layers of Successful Relationships, Dr. Gino Calora. Dr. Calora, thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh, Gayle, it's an absolute pleasure. Super excited about this discussion today.
I know, it's kind of become an annual tradition to have Dr.
Nice.
Gino with us. So you say romance is good for the brain.
It is tremendously beneficial for the brain, right? So when we break down romance, what are we actually saying? Well, the word romance comes from the Latin word romanicus. Romanicus means what? It means a fairy tale of adventure and love that is filled with chivalry, right? So if we think about how do you maintain romance, why is romance important? Well, is your story together as a fairy tale, is that important? Absolutely. The way in which you think about your partner, especially in those honeymoon days when you first started dating and everything was so wonderful and great and you couldn't wait to see them, we have to nurture that. We have to cultivate that. We can't ignore that, because once we do, we start running into issues.
So you mentioned chivalry, and I always describe Mark as the guy who rides in on a white horse, which you're really good at.
Yep.
And you love
I love
to
that
do
role.
that. He loves that role. So are you saying that we need to cultivate ways to keep the role alive?
We got to keep this guy on his horse. Absolutely,
right.
100%, right? So we have to keep it alive. But so what does that mean? It's effort. We have to put in the time. It's not just checking the box off, right? Oh, I did this today. Remember, it's a fairy tale. What are you doing to increase the possibilities of what could be for your love today, tomorrow, the months and years to come? So you have to nurture each other. You have to continuously feed into one another with, why did we fall in love in the first place? Why do we have this innate dwelling to want to spend our lives together? That is so special. And yet in the mundane grind of what we do day, it's so hard, right, to remember that, right? Because it's kind of like fluffy, it's kind of out there. But that is where the good stuff is.
Yeah, why did you pick me? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put you on the spot like that. But what can we do together to nurture this?
Absolutely, right? So look, the simple things, like the power of touch. Touch is so important. And I'm not talking about just on the sexual side, right? The daily touching, right? Holding hands, giving a hug. Like oxytocin is an incredibly powerful neurotransmitter, and we have to have it to have that bond. But you know what the biggest thing is that kicks that bond off, right, is actually making the effort to connect with one another. So look, Mark, when you come home after a long day of work, you're like, golly, I just want to sit on the couch, have a beer, watch TV, right? Look, take 5 minutes, go give her a hug. Give her, honey,
That's
tell me
great
about your
advice.
day, right? What
great
is going on?
advice.
Gayle, same thing for you, right? When you get home after a long day, you know what? Maybe Mark would like a foot rub. Because look, as guys, we always get told, guys, massage your wife's. Okay,
Come
well,
on,
let's
get
flip
a
it out.
He gets a foot rub.
I like
How
them.
did I pick the short stick? I see how this interview is going.
Probably should be the other way around.
Oh, you know,
right?
my wife's watching right now,
Yeah.
so I got to set it up.
So what else can we do?
All right, so look, how we talk to one another, like life and death in the power of the tongue, right? So what we say and how we say it matters. So bringing the right energy, the right intention. Look, you get frustrated, she gets frustrated. That's the nature of being in a relationship. It's not perfect all the time, but where are our intentions? If our intentions are truly to build up one another, we have to remember that. We have to remember that not just when we're talking, but also when we're listening. At the end of the day, he is your husband, she is your wife, and you have to always put that in its place and say, you know what, golly, I'm kind of annoyed with them right now, but I know at the end of the day, their intentions are pure. They love me, I love them, and we have built this beautiful life together. So let's continue to push forward. Let's continue to infuse happiness and joy and fulfillment, which are the reasons you guys decided to be together in the first place. It's not forgetting that.
And we only have about a minute left, but I think it's also important, and I know you agree with this. For us, being that couple is important. You have little ones growing up, and we have older daughters. They watch you, and I feel like you're an example for your children.
You are absolutely establishing the blueprint of what their normal will be in a relationship. So if intimacy isn't important, if touch isn't important, if having that deep, deep understanding of wanting to put yourself in the other person's shoes isn't important, guess what? That absolutely is setting the tone for them. And of course, any parent, you want your child to have an amazing relationship, an amazing life, right? But if we're not establishing that example to be those role models, that absolutely passes on, not just to them, but their children and the children after that, and so on. So yes, Gayle, immensely important.
Makes sense.
I want you like Marble the dog waiting for me with a big hug when I get home.
I'm definitely waiting for you.
Well, stick around because Dr. Gino is actually going to teach Mark and me how to salsa dance. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
We're going to be right back after the break.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle Guyardo, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com.
Beyond the simple joy of moving to the music, dancing with your sweetie can also improve a couple's physical connection. Behavioral scientist Dr. Gino Calora stuck around and is putting his instructor's hat back on to teach Mark and me how to salsa. I did not know you were a salsa instructor.
Many, many moons ago, it's how I got through college.
I love it. And you say there's a connection to what you do today.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So it was like, so back being in college, it was the first time I got introduced to the power of physical touch through dance, right? So being able to work with one another, being able to put yourself in a position where, golly, the dance floor's on, the music is fantastic, right? And we start to get in what we call synchronicity, right? And that is a very powerful thing when we start talking about the power of relationships.
All right, good, because we want to start doing TikTok dance videos at the couple. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
so why don't you teach us how to get going?
110%, right? So rule number one, the most important rule is have fun, right?
Okay.
So you're learning something new, you're gonna get frustrated, don't worry about it. Have fun with one another. Remember, you're here for joy and fulfillment and laughter, all right? So let's kick off.
All right.
Okay.
So first things first, we're gonna start with our feet shoulder width apart,
Okay.
Keep your hands up right here. Now, we're gonna go forward with our left foot, all right? And when we go forward with our left foot, we're gonna bring the left foot back, and we're gonna go back with our right foot, okay? So forward with the left, and back with the right. And forward, 2, 3, back, 2, 3. Look at this, pros right here. My gosh, you guys don't need me, right? That's outstanding, right? So forward and back. Great, and forward and back. All right, now let's go side to side.
Okay.
We're gonna mix it up a little bit, okay? So same thing, same starting position, and we're gonna go left, and then bring your foot back, and then we're gonna go right. So ready, and left, and right. There we go, and left, 2, 3, and right, 2, 3. Perfect, I love it. Now, let's go forward again, and forward, and back. Forward, and back. All right, now the fun part comes. Let's do it together.
All right.
Okay.
Let's center up here.
There you go,
right.
perfect.
All right.
Outstanding. Okay, so Mark, what I want you to do is I want you to hold Gayle's hands just like this.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Now, it's not just the step forward with your left and back. You want to push when you step forward with your left. Gently push. We don't want to fly across the floor. All right, so you're going to push gently with the left, step forward with the left. There you go, and bring it back. And now pull back with the right. There we go, and left, 2, 3, and right. Perfect. You know what I love about this? The smiles. Look at the joy that's happening right now. We have got mirror neurons,
just can't believe we're
oxytocin. I love it.
dancing.
All right, and now let's get a little crazy with it, right? So now we're gonna come back, go back on that right foot, and start going left side to side with the
right.
right.
Left.
There we go. So we're
Okay,
gonna
so I got
Yep.
one.
Perfect. Right.
Right.
Yes. And left, 2, 3. Right, 2, 3. Perfect, guys. You guys are crushing, okay? So now, whenever you want, Mark, you're going to lead this, right? You are going to go back to forward with your left.
Oh, well, you gotta wait for me to go.
Oh,
like
sorry.
There it is. No, that's perfect, though.
See how she
Outstanding.
is.
And now we're going to mix in what we call una vuelta, right? Una vuelta is a turn, right? So I want you to let go of her hands, and now watch carefully, right? You're going to turn like this.
Oh, I can do that.
There we go. Yeah. And then back with that left. Go forward. There it is. And right now, there we go. Put a little oomph into that. Go ahead, Gayle. Outstanding, guys. Outstanding. Very, very good. And throw another side to side, another vuelta, whatever you feel, Mark. Whatever you guys are feeling. There it is.
They really won't be here.
I love it. And you guys, there's so much going on in your brain right now. So many good things that nurture your relationship, right? The endorphins, the dopamine, the serotonin, all that dance conjures up, and salsa's a great way to do it. Outstanding, guys. Fantastic. Wonderful.
That was really a lot of fun. All right, well, thank you so much for teaching us how to
Absolutely.
dance. If you want to watch these Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers moves, you can do so on BloomTampaBay.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
By now, you probably already have dinner plans for Valentine's Day, so we're focusing on your heart. Top personal chef Deb Murray is here with a heart-healthy Mediterranean salad, and it just so happens my husband here that you know so well, Mark, you love salads.
Absolutely.
He eats
Love
one
salads.
almost every day for lunch.
And what's nice about this salad, y'all, is not just great for the heart, but this can stay for 3 or 4 days, stay nice and crunchy. A lot of times when we have just lettuce in the salad, it starts to break down by the next morning. It started for myself. I thought, you know what? I want something that will make me feel satiated and have it be delicious and be able to eat it for a couple of days. So that's where the motivation from this came from, and my customers love it. So the first thing we have in the bowl is quinoa. Now, I don't know if, I'm sure you're familiar with
we eat
quinoa.
that.
Of course.
I love it. And for those of you at home that aren't aware of it, it is a grain, and it's your body recognizes it as a protein. It's got all 12 of the amino acids. Like your body's going, ooh, we're having chicken. But on Meatless Monday, you're actually having quinoa, and it's very high in fiber. So that's very good for lowering your cholesterol. So that's good for heart health. Now, all of these ingredients here, Gayle, are going to go into your salad. So feel free to grab them, and I'll talk to you why. So what you have there is those are English cucumbers that I've diced. Now, cucumbers are very low in calorie. They have a lot of water in them. They're very delicious. We've diced them small. You're going to toss that in with the quinoa. The next one, any of these, that is fresh parsley. Parsley is phenomenal for keeping the body cool, It's delicious for us. What you have, that pretty little heart bowl, that is very good for the body. That is garbanzo beans.
Love them.
Garbanzo beans, the fiber in it helps you feel more satiated. They don't get all mushy. So go ahead and toss in your garbanzo beans.
And I was sent for garbanzo beans, and they didn't have them marked that, but they could also chickpeas.
Chickpeas, they're one and the same.
Right.
I know, it's a little tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so the next one we have is red onion.
Okay.
Red onion,
Love
again,
red onion.
very, very good for you. We're adding in more vegetables. All right, we have our tomatoes next. These are our little grape tomatoes that I've diced up. And if you're recognizing any of these ingredients, all of them would be what would go in a Greek salad. Over here we have our green pepper. And then this, even though it's yellow, that is a beet.
Oh.
And beets are so good for you. Beets are a phenomenal way they talk about the different things for cardiovascular benefits. They're really good for the blood. They're very good for the body, high in nutrition, high in fiber. And then what we have here is we have the traditional condiments that go in a Greek salad, like our pepperoncinis. Olives are very, very good for you and great for the heart. And then there's also some roasted red peppers. The next thing that we're going to add in is, this is arugula pesto, a vegan arugula pesto. It isn't mandatory. I just added it because I had bought it for my Super Bowl paninis. So I thought, you know what, let's add that in. Now, if you wanted to keep this vegan, we could stop there. If you aren't vegan, this is feta from Greece.
Ooh.
And it's made from sheep's milk. It's not made from cow's milk.
Nice.
So we'll add in our feta. And then here I've got your, this is fresh squeezed Myers lemon juice.
Oh, nice.
And again, that's so good for alkalinity. It's got a great amount of acidity and flavor. Here's some sea salt, Celtic sea salt, that's infused with a little bit of fennel pollen, and it's delicious. And it's also got citrus rind in it.
And in here you have all the colors of the rainbow, and
Yes.
we're leaning into that
Right.
blue zone Mediterranean.
Precisely. And I mean, the Mayo Clinic is all about the Mediterranean diet. I myself have been following it for a while because I want to lose weight, first of all, but also for arthritis and inflammation, for your heart. My sister had open heart surgery a couple of years ago, so it's made me more mindful that I need to take care of this. And that's the best love of all is the self-love, because the taking care of yourself makes you a better partner, and it makes it better for you in the long run.
I
So
agree.
what you have there is extra virgin olive oil that I've infused with roasted garlic. Obviously, just a few squeezes. Olive oil is very, very, very heart healthy. Again, that's why the Mayo Clinic is so all about it. We're low in calorie, high in fiber, bright in color, but I want you kids, now we can toss it out onto the lettuce.
Okay.
But I didn't want you to
just
put
some
it
of it, right?
on the lettuce because I wanted you to be able to have it all week long. My one girlfriend, Taryn Galvin, we had done this Greek party at her house, so I had made the Greek salad like this, and she had it for like 3 days. She goes, that was the best thing that I ever had for myself, was every time I felt like going for the chips because I was so hungry, there was a delicious, healthy alternative sitting there going, hey, try me. And it immediately lowers your blood sugar with all the fiber in it.
You have to taste some. It's so good. It's amazing. Isn't it good?
That's great.
It's
That's
so
great.
delicious.
Yay.
I love it. And because it's Valentine's Day, Chef Deb has a special surprise
Oh,
for
boy.
you specifically because she knows.
Well, I adore you two as a couple.
thank
I think
you.
you guys, if I was watching you dance and my face was, I was smiling the whole time. And my daughter met Mark first and she's like, Mommy's so nice.
She's right, he is.
But what we love about you is my late husband Martin was crazy for stone crabs.
Oh,
And I have
wow.
very good
Oh, my
connections in the
gosh.
stone crab world. Suzanne Summers used to call me in advance to say, bring me stone crabs, bring me stone crabs. So Alan got these for you. They were
Aw.
swimming yesterday, but let me show you what you two can have
Wow,
for dinner tonight.
that is
Isn't that
next
amazing?
level, yes.
Beautiful.
So happy
Thank you
Valentine's
so much.
Day
It's
to
so
my
kind of
favorite
you.
couple.
Oh, we love you.
And enjoy, and everyone take care of your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is so great. What we're going to do is we're going to share this recipe on bloomtampabay.com. And happy Valentine's Day,
Valentine's
Chef
Day.
Happy
Deb.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, we'll be back with more Bloom right after this. Pew Research Center shows 64% of married Americans believe that having shared interest is very important for a successful marriage. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that,
Yeah.
of course.
So we've got our safety goggles on, and joining me now with his point of view is Bloom Tampa Bay's Brody Waddell and Rockler woodworking and hardware instructor Gary Shesso. Thank you so much for being here, Gary.
Thank you very much.
And Brody, thanks for this cool idea. You did an article on this.
Yeah, that's right, I did. It was all about, unique and fun date ideas for Valentine's Day, besides the boring dinner and drinks that everyone seems to do. And one of the things that I came up and I found with, and they reached out, is a couples woodworking class. So
I think it's so cool, Gary, that you actually do this for couples. Do you see couples bonding during the class or fighting?
No, actually, it's more like, okay, so who's going to operate the tool? And quite often, the gals are like, hey, I want to do this one.
Okay,
So
I
that's,
love it.
yeah, that's fun.
So we're going to actually be making a box, a commemorative box today. So how do we get started?
Well, there's about a dozen different steps involved in making a box like this, and we're going to illustrate 3 of them today.
Okay.
You're going to get to do the glue up.
All right.
Okay, so we've got some glue ready to go. You've got the glue brush, and you just start filling in the seams.
All righty.
Exactly. And then while you're doing that, the next step would be to start applying finish to a completed box.
Okay. So we're going to let Mark
And you
be
guys can
polishing.
rub away and
Do our
that'll be a
thing,
hand rub
okay.
finish. And then while that's going on,
I get to do the fun part.
Yeah.
yes, and this is where we make dust, which is what woodworking's all about. So we have here another box. This is glued together and shaped, and it's curly maple with walnut, and we're going to cut some grooves in here that we will put splines in for strength. Okay.
cool.
So I'll do the first cut,
Yeah,
and then you can do the others.
absolutely.
All right.
I'll watch closely.
And when I do this, I'm going to power it on, and it's just a matter of pushing the box through the bit and back, and your hands are protected by the jig.
Uh-huh.
And here we go.
Okay.
That easy.
Yeah, seems simple enough.
Okay, so slide the box in,
All right, here I go.
hold it with 2 hands, and
All right.
go.
Got it.
Hold the box down. And back.
All right.
Nice.
Nice.
You got goggles and a mask. I love
I'm
it.
real cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the box is cut, and we've got it glued, and the shellacking's going beautifully here.
If you can just do a little glue on these 2 ends.
Oh, okay, all right.
And then we'll show you the high-tech clamping method that we use
right.
on
Very
these.
cool.
It's called painter's tape.
All right. Oh, I like
Oh.
it. Painter's
Yes.
tape.
Okay, so we're going to take the bottom.
Okay.
And you notice the slot that is on these boards. We're going to line up, slide this in to the slot, and we start folding it up.
Oh, cool.
And all the seams are glued. So as we fold it up,
So is that what Brody was doing, the seaming part?
we end up, he's doing another part,
Oh,
which is
okay.
to apply a
thingy.
spline
Yeah.
for strength. So then if you can just hold your finger there.
All right, that I can do.
The last step is to take a couple strips of tape
All right.
and across the last edge.
Nice.
And any glue that is squeezing out will be sanded off after it's done. So here you have the making of a box.
Oh, neat.
very nice.
So it's cool. So then you work around with the tape, and then once you start polishing it, stuff.
In about 30 minutes, the glue will have set enough to where we can take off the tape and
Okay.
move to the next step,
All right, and while you were
which
so
would be his step.
okay, you have another. Oh, that was the second step.
Yes.
Yes.
And Brody, while you were doing all that sawing, Mark and I were busy here at work. We actually already completed our
Nice.
box.
Yeah.
That's what it looks
And this
like.
is what it looks like. So when
We're
you come
fast.
together, you have an accomplishment of putting something together, and then you get to keep what you make.
Exactly. It's a make and take, and you can pick some of the different assorted woods we have. This one is zebra wood and Peruvian walnut.
How
And
cool.
this one that you can see how the finish has really brought out some of the details of the bird's eye maple.
Very
And then the
pretty.
top, which will be finished after this, is sapelli.
That's so cool. And I see you've brought other ideas of all of the cool things that you can make at a woodworking class.
Yes.
How long does a typical class take?
That would be a 2 to 4 hours, depending on how complex the design would be. And we offer several different designs of boxes that people can make.
And is it taking off with couples? Are they enjoying it?
Oh yeah, they do. They really do.
That's
and,
awesome.
And people, and the thing that's neat about it is that it applies to, woodworking applies to all ages. And with this particular project, you don't even need to have tools of your own. Some people, for the boxes, for the epoxy cutting boards, some of the pen turning and so on that we offer at the store, these different classes, people come to make an object, take it with them, and they don't even necessarily have tools of their own or a shop. They just be able to learn something new, try something different, and then have their friends ask, how did you do that?
I love it. Well, thank you so much, guys, and thanks for sticking around and doing this with me.
Absolutely.
We're going to post this story on BloomTampaBay.com, and up next, Mark and I are trying Sweetheart Stretches, so don't go away. Bloom will be right back.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
There's a new fitness movement, full body partner stretches. Are you ready to give it a try?
Absolutely.
Joining me now with Sweetheart Stretches for you and your boo is Master Flexologist Allison Hoyas. Allison, welcome to Bloom.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So this is really exciting. My husband and I have never done a stretching routine together. Why is this so good for us?
Absolutely. So aside from you guys spending quality time together for this Valentine's Day, stretching is an overall good exercise to keep your body moving, have you do your activities of daily living as comfortable as you can.
Will it help us grow old together?
Absolutely.
I hope so.
All right, so talk me through a few of the stretches that we'll be doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mark, I'm essentially going to help you get Gayle into a series of stretches that's going to cover main structures of the body. So Gayle, I'm going to have you go ahead and lay on your back.
Okay.
Good. And Mark, if you want to kneel or you can stay standing, you're pretty tall, so it works
I'll
out.
kneel, yep.
We're going to start off with a good hamstring stretch. So
Okay.
Mark, I will have you grab Gayle by the ankle, keeping that leg straight and bringing it close to her until, Gayle, you feel that good pull in the back of your leg there.
You can keep going. I'll
Perfect.
tell you, Uncle.
Yeah.
See, I'm not very limber. That's about all I can do.
Perfect.
So
if
how
you're,
long should he hold the stretch?
I would say anywhere between 15 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we would switch sides?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
And then, so that is a good stretch for if you've had a long day at the office and maybe you're feeling a little bit of tightness in the low back. Definitely a good one to try it with your partners.
All right.
Perfect. Next stretch, we're going to hit those quads and hip flexors. You're going to turn onto your stomach. Mark, you're going to grab her ankle again and almost try to bend her knee as if you're trying to get her heel to touch her back. Perfect. Same thing, 15 to 20 second hold here, both sides. Again, if you've been sitting for long periods, maybe you're traveling for Valentine's Day and you're feeling a little tight in the hips, this is a good one to execute. Perfect.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
I almost fell asleep.
Awesome, Gayle. Now we're going to go ahead and kneel, and you're
Okay.
going to interlock those fingers behind your head. Mark, you're going to be right there behind her, pulling her elbows back. Good chest opener, letting your heart out to the sky for Valentine's Day. This is good if you've been kind of sitting, again, long periods of time. Maybe your shoulders are feeling a little rounded. Nice posture opener to get that chest nice and opened up.
Ah, that's really, really nice. And are these like exercises that we could do at home together?
Absolutely. You can do them at home. You can do it while you're sitting down watching TV.
Try the
before you
kneeling
wake
one.
up. Yeah. Let's see how this looks. Yeah.
So he puts his hands behind his back?
Yep, just like this. Almost like you're laying on the beach. Yep. And
Okay.
then you'll just
Then you
pull
would-
his elbows back.
yeah.
Until you feel that good chest
that?
opener.
That's
Mhm.
great.
That is good.
This feels good.
Yeah, and you can do this seated while you're standing behind him. Different variations on making sure you get that chest nice and opened up.
All right, do the floor one,
What do you
where you lay
prefer?
on your stomach.
There you go.
I think you just got a new.
Okay, so you take this and then
Yep, you bend that knee as if you're trying to get his
That's
heel to
easy.
touch his back. There you go.
Ooh, you got a good range there, Mark.
Yep.
How
Yeah.
does that feel?
It feels good, actually.
Can I go further?
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. And then we'll do another way.
Yeah.
And again, it's good quality time together, and your house distance a little
Absolutely.
tighter.
Yeah.
And so when you obviously when you take it past the stretch point, you just have to hold it gently and not force it, right?
Nope, yep, take it a little bit past their comfort level as if they were trying to stretch themselves, maybe just a hair bit past that comfort level, but definitely don't want to go overboard with it or too much. As you start to stretch together more, that range of motion is going to increase, and then you'll be able to go a little bit deeper, but definitely starting off nice and slow just to avoid any overstretching.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to let you watch this stretching routine by posting it on bloomtampabay.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. Money and marriage go hand in hand, and really getting a handle on that dynamic is important for any relationship. I think you're more the money guy.
Absolutely.
I'm more still trying to figure it out, but we've got some help. Joining us now is wealth advisor and the CEO of Prosper Wealth Financial, the author of Who Pays? Navigating Love and Money, Nicole Middendorf. Thank you so much for joining us, Nicole.
Yes, thank you.
So you say, and I've never heard of this, I don't think we've had one, have a financial date.
Yes, have a money date.
A money date.
A money date.
Okay.
Because most couples do not talk about money. I mean, I get it. We're all busy, right? And especially if you have children. But it's really forcing yourself to sit down at least once a month and have a conversation about money. Maybe the first time you do it needs to be in a public place and in a restaurant. But the whole point, and that's why we came up with this deck of cards, the whole point is to share your values. What do you believe about money? Because so many of us were raised differently about money. Some people are spenders, some people are savers. And so how do you feel about money, and how does your partner feel about money, so you can both be on the same page and achieve the goals that you want to together?
Do you think we're on the same page?
I think for the most part we are.
Do you think you're ready to take the money
I am.
cards?
I can't wait.
All right,
The
let's
love
see.
part. and
You
the
want
money part.
some questions?
Yeah, we want some questions.
Okay, are you a spender or a saver?
I think we're savers. Is that fair to say?
I
I
would
mean,
say
we
we're
know
savers.
how to spend.
So
Yeah.
you're both
But-
savers.
I would
Yeah.
say we're more on the frugal side.
Yeah.
But why? Why are you a saver?
Oh, I think I'm a saver because I think it goes back to maybe how I was raised with money and just security purposes. Sometimes I get scared to spend, and I think he has taught me that, hey, it's okay to work hard and save, but you have to have a healthy relationship with money. And I don't think up until recently I've had one, because I always just want a vice grip, which I think kind of holds me back from making better investment strategies.
I think also with you, once you have kids, you start to think, what can I pass down to my children? So every time we think to spend money, we're like, is this money well spent?
Right.
Or should we just save that money and eventually, our kids will inherit that money as well. So
it seems
kinda
so
the
hard for
balance,
kids now.
yeah.
When you say like it's so hard for people because the way the world is today, so we feel obligated to save.
To save and help them, sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And the other thing too is not just having a money date with yourself, but then including your children. You can have these cards and use them with your kids, or as with my children, we have a family meeting and we have a family 401k plan. So my kids come together and decide to save for something together, and then we give them a match. And so it's all about talking about money.
Yeah, we need to do that
Yeah,
more with the
that'd be great.
kids. We got one really interesting. All right, give us another
You ready?
one.
Another one?
Yeah.
If you won $1 million, what would you do with your winnings?
Real estate. real estate. We, probably down in Sarasota or, Siesta Key, somewhere.
And buy it to
Rent.
live in it?
No,
Rent it
yeah,
out?
Yeah, for an investment property.
Smart.
What would you do?
I mean, I think I would be the same. I would buy a second home somewhere fun, Europe or something like that would be fun. But if it was just to just spend it and you had to spend it, definitely a second home would be.
You didn't have to spend it. You could do with it whatever you
No,
want.
you could
okay.
keep it.
And so that's the whole point, is having this conversation about money, because you're sometimes thinking about these things yourself, but when are you actually talking about them with your partner and exploring these ideas with your partner?
Yeah, we dream a lot,
Yeah.
real estate, a lot. And then having your financial plan together, any other advice for husbands and wives?
Absolutely. So it's having a plan together, being on the same page. The other thing that you can do is look at, there's only so many hours in the day, so who's doing what? Maybe usually one person is managing more of the budget and the cash flow, the day-to-day spending, and another person is looking at the long term, the retirement, buying that investment property. But that's why you have that money date, is to come together to share your ideas of where are you sitting. The other big thing that people fight about is spending limits. And so usually what happens is, you know, the guy goes and purchases the new set of golf clubs and the gal goes out with her girlfriends or to the spa. Let's face it, rather than pointing the finger at your significant other, we both spend a lot of money. We just spend money on different things. And so it's coming together and having an amount that you both can spend money on that you don't have to have permission or talk to the other person about. So that could be $100, it could be $500, it could be $1,000, it could be whatever dollar amount that fits within your budget, so that you're taking the guilt out of it, because many women have guilt when it comes to money. And so that's one of the things that people fight about a lot.
Yeah, I do have guilt with it. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been super enlightening.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to post Nicole's money tips on bloomtampabay.com. And before we go to break, it's time for today's Bloom trivia question. True or false? Having a high income leads to a better chance of a relationship. Thoughts, Mark? True or
I would
false?
say that's true.
Well, we're going to have the answer later on Bloom.
Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle Guyardo, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. Welcome back to Bloom's Valentine's special. Tapping into and aligning your chakras could really help strengthen relationships. Joining me now with how to do that is wellness coach, medical intuitive, and the author of Aura Alchemy, Amy Lee McCree. Amy Lee, it is so great to see you.
It's so good to see you, Gayle.
So let's talk about our chakras. I want to, definitely deep dive into how that plays into our relationship, but what are they?
So the idea of chakras was originated about 1500 BC in the ancient texts known as the Vedas and the Upanishads, which are part of the Vedic tradition that began in India. So in those texts we have historical writings that state that the chakras are anywhere from 1 to 144 in number. So the idea of the 7 chakras came about in the late 1800s with something called the Theosophical Society. So really, chakras are energy centers. That's really all they are. And my work as a medical intuitive, I see them as changeable and mutable, and we have a nice format with those 7 chakras, but we actually have a lot more. When we look at ancient texts, we see a lot of different models for that too.
Okay, but talk to me about the meaning of the 7 chakras, and how does color play into it?
So the 7 chakras, that idea and the rainbow color setup was the one that was kind of popularized by the Theosophical Society, and it's a nice framework. So we have the base chakra, which is considered red, the sacral abdominal chakra, which is considered orange, the solar plexus chakra, which is considered to be yellow, the heart chakra in the center of the chest, which is considered to be green or pink, the throat is considered to be blue, the brow center is considered to be indigo, and then the crown chakra is considered to be white or violet.
How do we align our chakra to bring love into our life or to strengthen relationships?
That's a great question. So we can think about lining the chakras up through things like deep breathing and placing our feet on the earth, things that realign us with nature and our own internal energy flow. We can almost think of them kind of centered through the body, up the spine, right up and down the middle, and we can imagine that that's flowing, and we use deep breathing to move that. As we do that, we can clear the mind, clarify our energy in our field, and then be able to set an intention that we do want to connect from that heart love chakra space and be in a relationship where we've found somebody with that same mindset and heart set.
So you don't believe, though, there's such a thing as a blocked chakra?
I don't. I think it's kind of a dramatic way to say that we just have some density that we need to get our energy moving through sauna, exercise, singing, dancing, laughing, movement, being in nature. All these things can unblock a sluggish energy center.
Okay, and so I like that, because I think, to your point, we get so bogged down with life that we're not tapping into the energy fields that we need to.
Exactly, and we're on screens and we're kind of like indoors all the time. We're go, 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 and we're disconnected from nature. When we reconnect with nature, we are nature. So if we're outside, if we're moving our body, if we're doing things that are being more embodied, then we feel better because our energy is flowing.
So once your energy is flowing, is that when you're open to love, relationships, strengthening?
I think that's when you're open to a higher level of love, a higher quality of relationship. And then you're also more likely, like attracting like two magnets, to attract somebody who's also in that state.
Yeah, because you talk about we are forces of energy.
We are.
If your energy is blocked or you're putting out the wrong energy, that's what you're going to attract.
Exactly. That's part of what my book Aura Alchemy is all about, is creating an internal sense of love, joy, high vibration, and then bringing that out all around you in your electromagnetic field. Then you're attracting that, and it's also your lens through which you experience life, which includes romance.
Such a pleasure to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Gayle.
All right, we're going to share this story on BloomTampaBay.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. It's time for today's Bloom trivia question. True or false? Having a high income leads to a better chance of securing a relationship.
I think that's true.
You would be correct. According to a British study, the answer is true. Money can't buy love, but money increases the chances of finding love, and love decreases the need for money. And a higher income is also associated with less daily sadness, but not more daily happiness. Do you agree with that?
I guess so.
I guess so.
I guess if you're not
But if I was
sad,
rich, I'd be
happy.
I think so.
Er.
Let's give that a try. All right. Well, did you have fun today?
Absolutely. This is great. This is always a great tradition.
I look forward to this every year. We hope you'll tune in on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. It's our Mindful Parenting edition. WFLA evening anchor Josh Benson is joining us about his new series on News Channel 8, Daddy-Daughter Diaries. And licensed psychologist Dr. Carlos Garcia is joining us with mindful parenting in a digital age. So stay healthy, everyone. And say it, Mark.
I'll see you on the next Bloom.
Actually, you'll see me. Have a good one.
Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.